But here at Highland Hill Farm, we have lots of arborvitaes. And one of our top selling arborvitaes is the green giant. A common question we get on green giant is trimming of the green giant. When we trim green giants, we try to trim green giants at their 1 liter. However, double liters always do find their way into our batches. If you do have a double liter, we like to trim them out. It also depends on the time of the year, depends on when it's being planted. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But if you had to trim them, this is what I would recommend to do for trimming. I would say pick 1 of the 2 liters. I would pick this liter to trim off because this one's more in the center and this one's a little bit bigger. So it's pretty much easy for me to go. And I would cut on an angle right above where there was another leaf so that this leaf right here can continue to grow. And in time it would not affect the way that it looked at all. And cutting that off makes it a single liter. Will stunt this growth, make this one larger. That is subordinating the leads. And if you wanted to, you could go through and do little minute prunes around the sides, but that's not really necessary. It all depends on what you want the tree to do and how you want to go after it. If you do trim all the sides around it, you'll make a denser tree, but it won't fill out as fast. If you trim the tops, you'll get a denser tree, but then you'll have multiple leaves start growing up. If you trim it and leave it just like this is right now, this will telescope out, and this can grow like 2 to 3 foot in 1 year. But most times I usually don't like those. When they're in the field, I usually do trim it a little bit back to encourage more growth out on these guys here. But the green giant is a type of arborvitae. It does grow very fast and it does take very well to trimming. If you have a really large green giant and you wish to trim it down to a smaller size, I wouldn't recommend cutting half of it. Like suppose if you have a 12-footer, you want to put it 6, that may be a little bit too much of a trim. And if you're doing that as just been planted or transplanted, that's also very bad for the tree. Typically when you plant or transplant a tree, you try not to do a lot of pruning on it, just because the more pruning you do on it, the more stress it is, and it limits the amount of root growth you'll have on it. If the tree's been established in the ground for a while, does not need your care anymore. You can do a harder trim, but the more you take off, the more stress you're going to put on the tree. Removing half the foliage is definitely not the way to go. Maybe go like, it depends on the size of the tree again, but like 2 to 3 foot of growth to cut off will probably not really affect the tree too much. But it also does depend on the type of arborvitae, but for green giant that's fairly true.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. And if the people want to get a hold of you and they have a question, what's your number?
My number is 267-446-2376. That's my cell. If you want to talk to my dad, that was him. His number is 215-651-8329.
Okay, thank you very much.
If you have questions about trees and shrubs, give us a call at Highland Hill Farm at 215-651-8329 or email us at bill@highlandhillfarm.com. If you like this video, I hope you subscribe, and please go to the subscribe button and subscribe to our videos. Thank you. Have a nice one. Bye-bye.